Good evening and welcome, one and all, or good day, or good afternoon, or whenever you're listening to this. Welcome back to The Jungle Book, read to you by me and written by Mr. Kipling, Rudyard. Last time, we got to halfway through chapter 3. Mowgli has been kicked out of the tribe of the wolves, his family, where he lived, because they didn't like him. They'd been listening to Shere Khan too much. Shere Khan. That was his voice. He has a weird. I've got the accents for their voices written down, and Shere Khan is apparently, in my reading, nasal and yee. Anyway, yeah. So he's been kicked out. He's gone to live with a tribe of humans, and he's been given a job because they don't like him. Basically, he's just far too cool for them. He's been given a job looking after the cattle, and one of his wolf friends has said to him, "Hey, Shere Khan's looking to kill you." So, we're going to catch up. I'm sorry, I'm incredibly yellow in the light, but never mind. We're going to catch up with what happened. Mowgli is ready for Shere Khan to make his move. Yeah, so he's just kind of sitting down in the long grass. So, let's dive straight back in. If Shere Khan had made a false step with his lame paw up in the jungles by the Wainagunga, Mowgli would have heard him in these long, still mornings. At last, a day came when he did not see Grey Brother at the signal place. Grey Brother is his wolf brother. And he laughed and headed the buffaloes for the ravine by the dahak tree, which was all covered with the golden red flowers. There sat Grey Brother, every bristle on his back lifted. He is hidden for a month to throw thee off thy guard. He's crossed the ranges last night with Tabaqui, hotfoot on my tail, said the wolf, panting. Mowgli frowned. I'm not afraid of Shere Khan, but Tabaqui is very cunning. For those of you who don't know, Tabaqui is a jackal, I believe. Yeah. Have no fear, said Grey Brother, licking his lips a little. I met Tabaqui in the dawn. Now he's telling all the wisdom to the kites. But he told me everything before I broke his back. Shere Khan's plan is to wait for thee at the village gate this evening. For thee, and for no one else. He's lying up now in the big dry ravine of the Wainagunga. Has he eaten today, or does he hunt empty? Said Mowgli, for the answer meant life or death to him. He killed at dawn a pig, and he is drunk too. Remember, Shere Khan could never fast, even for the sake of revenge. Oh, fool! Fool! What a cub's cub it is! Eaten and drunk too, and he thinks that I shall wait till he has slept. Now, where does he lie up? If there were but 10 of us, we might pull him down as he lies. These buffaloes will not charge unless they wind him. And I cannot speak their language. Can we get behind his track, so that they may smell it? He swam far down the Wainagunga to cut them off, said Grey Brother. Tabaqui told him that, I know. He would never have thought of it alone. Mowgli stood with his finger in his mouth, thinking, oh. The big ravine of the Wainagunga, that opens out into the plain not half a mile from here. I can take the herd round through the jungle to the head of the ravine and then sweep down, but he'd slink out at the foot. We must block that end. Grey Brother, canst thou cut the herd in two for me? Not I, perhaps, but I have brought a wise helper. Grey Brother trotted off and dropped into a hole. Then there lifted up a huge grey head that Mowgli knew well. And the hot air was filled with the most desolate cry of all the jungle, the hunting howl of a wolf at midday. Akela! Akela! Said Mowgli, clapping his hands. I might have known that thou wouldst not forget me. We've got a big work in hand. Cut the herd in two, Akela. Keep the cows and calves together, and the bulls and the plough buffaloes by themselves. The two wolves ran, ladies' chain fashion, in and out of the herd, which snorted and threw up its head and separated into two clumps. In one, the cow buffaloes stood with their calves at their centre and glared and pawed, ready, if a wolf would only stay still, to charge down and trample the life out of him. In the other end, bulls and the younger bulls snorted and stamped, but though they looked more imposing, they were much less dangerous, for they had no calves to protect. No 6 men could have divided the herd so neatly. What orders? Panted him, They're trying to join again. Mowgli slipped onto Rama's back. Rama is one of the bulls or the buffaloes. Drive the bulls away to the left, Akela. Grey Brother, when we're gone, hold the cows together and drive them into the foot of the ravine. How far? Said Grey Brother, panting and snapping. To the sides are higher than Shere Khan can jump, shouted Mowgli. Shh, this is exciting. Keep them there till we can come down. The bulls swept off. Who's shouting now? Diddly-dee-ba-dee. Oh, that's interesting. They put speech marks, but no one's actually speaking. My mother would have a fit. She's a proofreader, but never mind, that's off the point. The bulls swept off as Akela bade, and Grey Brother stopped in front of the cows. They charged down on him, and he ran just before them to the foot of the ravine, as Akela drove the bulls far to the left. Well done! Another charge, and they're fairly startled. Careful now, careful, Akela, and snap too much, and the bulls will charge. Hiya! This is wider work than driving Black Buck. Didst thou think these creatures could move so swiftly? Mowgli called. I have hunted these two in my time, gasped Akela in the dust. Shall I turn them into the jungle? Aye, turn. Swiftly turn them. Rama is mad with rage. Oh, if I could only tell him what I needed him to do today. The bulls were turned to the right this time and crashed into the standing thicket. The other herd children, watching with the cattle half a mile away, hurried to the village as fast as their legs could carry them, crying that the buffaloes had gone mad and run away. But Mowgli's plan was simple enough. All he wanted to do was make a big circle uphill and get at the head of the ravine, and then take the bulls down it and catch Shere Khan between the bulls and the cows. For he knew that after a meal and a full drink, Shere Khan would not be in any condition to fight or to clamber up the sides of the ravine. He was soothing the buffaloes now by voice, and Akela had dropped far to the rear, only whimpering once or twice to hurry the rear guard. It was a long, long circle, for they didn't wish to get too near to the ravine and give Shere Khan warning. At last, Mowgli rounded up the bewildered herd at the head of the ravine on a grassy patch that sloped steeply down to the ravine. From that height, you could see across the tops of the trees down to the plain below, but what Mowgli looked at were the sides of the ravine, and he saw with a great deal of satisfaction that they ran nearly straight up and down, while the vines and creepers that hung over them would give no foothold to a tiger who wanted to get out. You know, I feel half sorry for Shere Khan, anyway. Let them breathe, Akela, he said, holding up his hand. They've not winded him yet. Let him breathe. I must tell Shere Khan who comes. We have him in a trap. He put his hands to his mouth and shouted down the ravine. It was almost like shouting down a tunnel, and the echoes jumped from rock to rock. Oi! 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 After a long time there came back a drawling, sleepy snarl of a full-fed tiger, just wakened. Who calls? Said Shere Khan, and a splendid peacock fluttered up out of the ravine, screaming. Oh dear! I, Mowgli. Cattle thief, it is time to come to the council rock. Down, hurry them down. Akela, down. Rama, down. The herd paused for an instant at the sharp edge of the slope, but Akela gave the tongue in the full hunting yell, and they pitched over one after the other, just as streamers shoot rapids. The sand and the stones spurted up around them. Once started, there was no chance of stopping, and before they were fairly in the bed of the ravine, Rama winded Shere Khan and bellowed. Ha! Ha ha! Said Mowgli on his back. Now thou knowest. Now you know, in modern English. And the torrent of black horns, foaming muzzles, and staring eyes whirred down the ravine like boulders in flood time, the weaker buffaloes being shouldered out to the sides of the ravine where they tore through the creepers. They knew what the business was before them, the terrible charge of the buffalo herd against which no tiger can hope to stand. Shere Khan heard the thunder of the hooves, picked himself up, and lumbered down the ravine, looking from side to side for some way to escape. But the walls of the ravine were straight, and he had to keep on, heavy with his dinner and his drink, willing to do anything rather than fight. The herd splashed through the pool he'd just left, bellowing till the narrow cut ran. I'll leave you to work out what that means by yourself. Mowgli heard an answering bellow from the foot of the ravine. Saw Shere Khan turn. The tiger knew if the worst came to the worst, it was better to meet the bulls than the cows with their calves. And then Rama tripped, stumbled, and went on again, and over something soft. and with the bulls at his heels, crushed full into the other herd, while the weaker buffaloes were lifted clean off their feet by the shock of the meeting. The charge carried both herds out into the plain, goring and stamping and snorting. Mowgli watched his time and slipped off Rama's neck, laying about him right and left with his stick. "Quick, Akela, break them up! Scatter them, or they'll be fighting one another! Drive them away! Akela! Hi, Rama! Hi, hi, hi! My children! Softly now, softly! It's all over!" Akela and Grey Brother ran to and fro, nipping the buffalo's legs. And though the herd wheeled once to charge up the ravine again, Mowgli managed to turn Rama, and the others followed him to the wallows. Shere Khan needed no more trampling. He was dead, and the kites were coming for him already. "Brothers, that's a dog's death," said Mowgli, feeling for the knife he always carried in a sheath round his neck now that he lived with men. But he would never have shown fight. "His hide will look well on the Council Rock. We must get to work swiftly." A boy trained among men would never have dreamed of skinning a 10-foot tiger alone. 10 foot? Cool, blimey. That's almost 2 of me. Tall. Ooh. But Mowgli knew better than anyone else how an animal's skin is fitted on and how it can be taken off. But it was hard work. And Mowgli slashed and tore and grunted for an hour, while the wolves lolled out their tongues or came forward and tugged as he ordered them. Presently, a hand fell on his shoulder, and looking up, he saw Buldeo with the tower musket. That he is the town hunter. The children had told the village about the buffalo stampede, and Buldeo went out angrily, only too anxious to correct Mowgli for not taking better care of the herd. The wolves dropped out of sight as soon as they saw the man coming. "What is this folly?" said Buldeo angrily. "To think that thou canst skin a tiger! Where did the buffaloes kill him?" "Oh, it is a lame tiger too, and there is 100 rupees on his head. Ooh, well, well, we will overlook thy letting the herd run off, and perhaps I'll give thee 1 of the rupees as a reward when I've taken the skin to Kaniwara." He fumbled in his waistcloth for flint and steel, and stooped down to singe Shere Khan's whiskers. Most native hunters singe a tiger's whiskers to prevent his ghost haunting them. "Hum!" said Mowgli, half to himself as he ripped back the skin of a forepaw. "So thou wilt take the hide to Kaniwara for the reward, and perhaps give me 1 rupee. Now it is in my mind that I need the skin for my own use. Ha! Old man, take away that fire." "What talk is this to the chief hunter of the village? Thy luck and the stupidity of thy buffaloes have helped thee to this kill. The tiger has just fed, or he would have gone 20 miles by this time. Thou canst not even skin him properly, little beggar brat. And forsooth, I, Buldeo, must be told not to singe his whiskers? Mowgli, I will not give thee 1 anna of the reward, but only a very big beating. Leave the carcass." "By the bull that bought me," said Mowgli, who was trying to get at the shoulder, "must I stay babbling to an old ape all noon? Here, Akela, this man plagues me." Buldeo, who was still stooping over Shere Khan's head, found himself sprawling on the grass with a grey wolf standing over him, while Mowgli went on skinning, as though he were alone in all India. "Yes," he said between his teeth. "Thou art altogether right, Buldeo. Thou wilt never give me 1 anna of the reward. There is an old war between this lame tiger and myself, a very old war, and I have won." To do Buldeo justice, if he had been 10 years younger, he would have taken his chance with Akela, had he met the wolf in the woods. But a wolf who obeyed the orders of this boy, who had private wars with man-eating tigers, was not a common animal. It was sorcery, magic of the worst kind, thought Buldeo, and he wondered whether this amulet round his neck would protect him. He lay as still, expecting every minute to see Mowgli turn into a tiger too. "Maharaj, great king," he said at last, in a husky whisper. "Yes," said Mowgli, without turning his head, chuckling a little. I'm an old man. I did not know that thou wast anything more than a herd boy. May I rise up and go away, or will thy servant tear me to pieces?" "Go, and peace go with thee. Only, another time do not meddle with my game. Let him go, Akela." Buldeo hobbled away to the village as fast as he could. Hobbling fast. looking back over his shoulder in case Mowgli should change into something terrible. When he got to the village, he told a tale of magic and enchantment and sorcery that made the priest look very grave. Mowgli went on with his work, but it was nearly twilight before he and the wolves had drawn the great gay skin clear of the body. Now we must hide this and take the buffaloes home. Help me to herd them, Akela. The herd rounded up in the misty twilight. And when they got near the village, Mowgli saw lights and heard the conches and bells bellowing and banging. Half the village seemed to be waiting for him by the gate. That is because I killed Shere Khan, he said to himself, but a shower of stones whistled about his ears, and the villagers shouted, Sorcerer! Wolf's brat! Jungle demon, get away! Go hence quickly, or the priest will turn thee into a wolf again. Shoot, Boldio, shoot! The old tower musket went off with a bang, and a young buffalo bellowed in pain. More sorcery! Shouted the villagers. He can turn bullets! Boldio, that was thy buffalo. Now, what is this? Said Mowgli, bewildered, as the stones flew thicker. Oh, they're not unlike the pack, these brothers of thine. Sorry, no, that was Akela. They're not unlike the pack, these brothers of thine, said Akela, sitting down composedly. It is in my head that if bullets mean anything, they would cast thee out. Wolf! Wolf's cub, go away! Shouted the priest, waving a sprig of the sacred tulsi plant. Again. Last time it was because I'm a man. This time it's because I'm a wolf. Let us go, Akela. A woman, it was Mesua, ran across to the herd and cried, Oh, my son, my son! They say thou art a sorcerer who can turn himself into a beast at will. I do not believe, but go away or they will kill thee. Boldio says thou art a wizard, but I know thou hast avenged Nathu's death. Come back, Mesua, shouted the crowd. Come back, or we will stone thee! Mowgli laughed a little, short, ugly laugh, for a stone had hit him in the mouth. Run back, Mesua. Who's talking? I need to find out who's talking about it. Yeah, Mowgli. Run back, Mesua. This is one of the foolish tales they tell under the big tree at dusk. I have at least paid for thy son's life. Farewell. And run quickly, for I shall send the herd in more swiftly than their brickbats. I am no wizard, Mesua. Farewell. Now, once more, Akela, he cried. Bring the herd in. The buffaloes were anxious enough to get to the village. They hardly needed Akela's yell, but charged through the gate like a whirlwind, scattering the crowd right and left. Keep count, shouted Mowgli scornfully. It may be that I have stolen one of them. Keep count, for I will do your herding no more. Fare you well, children of men, and thank Mesua that I do not come in with my wolves and hunt you up and down your street. He turned on his heel and walked away with the lone wolf, and he looked up at the stars, and he felt happy. No more sleeping in traps for me, Akela. Let us get Shere Khan's skin and go away. No, we will not hurt the village, for Mesua was kind to me. When the moon rose over the plain, making it look all milky, the horrified villagers saw Mowgli with 2 wolves at his heels and a bundle on his head, trotting across at the steady wolf's trot that eats up the long miles like fire. Then they banged the temple bells and blew the conches louder than ever, and Mesua cried, and Boldio embroidered the story of his adventures in the jungle, till he ended by saying that Akela stood up on his hind legs and talked like a man. The moon was just going down when Mowgli and the 2 wolves came to the hill of the Council Rock, and they stopped at Mother Wolf's cave. They've cast me out of the man pack, Mother, shouted Mowgli. But I come with the hide of Shere Khan to keep my word. Mother Wolf walked stiffly from the cave with the cubs behind her, and her eyes glowed as she saw the skin. I told him that one day, when he crammed his head and shoulders into our cave, hunting for thy life, little frog, I told him that the hunter would be the hunted. It is well done. Little brother. Oh, here we go. Little brother, it is well done. And said a deep voice in the thicket. We were lonely in the jungle without thee. And Bagheera came running to Mowgli's bare feet. They clambered up the Council Rock together, and Mowgli spread the skin out on the flat stone where Akela used to sit, and pegged it down with 4 slivers of bamboo, and Akela lay down upon it, and called the old council. Look well, O wolves! Exactly... sorry, that's not him speaking. Exactly as he had called when Mowgli was first brought there, back in chapter 1. Ever since Akela had been deposed, the pack had been without a leader, hunting and fighting at their own pleasure. But they answered the call from habit, and some of them were lame from the traps that they had fallen into, and some limped from shot wounds, and some were mangy from eating bad food, and many were missing. But they came to the Council Rock, all that were left of them, and saw Shere Khan's striped hide on the rock, and the huge claws dangling at the end of the empty, dangling feet. It was then that Mowgli made up a song without any rhymes, a song that came up into his throat all by itself, and he shouted it aloud, leaping up and down on the rattling skin, and beating time with his heels till he had no more breath left, while Grey Brother and Akela howled between the verses. Look well, O wolves! Have I kept my word? Said Mowgli when he had finished, and the wolves bayed. Yes. And one tattered wolf howled. Lead us again, O Akela, lead us again, O Man Cub, for we be sick of this lawlessness, and we would be the free people once more. Nay, purred Bagheera, that may not be. When ye are full fed, the madness may come upon ye again. Not for nothing are ye called the free people. Ye fought for freedom, and it is yours. Eat it, O wolves. Man Pack and Wolf Pack have cast me out, said Mowgli. Now I will hunt alone in the jungle. And we will hunt with thee, said the 4 cubs. So Mowgli went away and hunted with the 4 cubs in the jungle from that day on. But he was not always alone, because years afterwards he became a man and married. But that is a story for grown-ups. I'm a grown-up. I want to hear that story. Me. It's always good to act like a grown-up when you're being a grown-up. Right. I'm going to sing Mowgli's song. I'm not going to sing it because I don't know the tune. But this is the end of the chapter. This is the poem that comes at the end of the chapter. Mowgli's song. Here we have him dancing up and down on Shere Khan's dead corpse. That he sang at the Council Rock when he danced on Shere Khan's hide. The song of Mowgli. I, Mowgli, am singing. Let the jungle listen to the things I have done. Shere Khan said he would kill. At the gates in the twilight, he would kill Mowgli, the frog. He ate and he drank. Drink deep, Shere Khan, for when wilt thou drink again? Sleep and dream of the kill. I am alone on the grazing grounds. Grey Brother, come to me, lone wolf, for there is big game afoot. Bring up the great bull buffaloes, the blue-skinned herd bulls with the angry eyes. Drive them to and fro as I order. Sleepest thou still, Shere Khan? Dost thou? Wake! Oh, wake! Here come I, and the bulls are behind. Rama, the king of the buffaloes, stamped with his foot. Waters of the Waingunga, whither went Shere Khan? He is not Ikki to dig holes, nor More the peacock that he should fly. He is not Mung the bat to hang in the branches, little bamboos that crack together. Tell me where he ran. Ow! He is there! Ahoo! He is there! Under the feet of Rama lies the lame one. Up, Shere Khan! Up and kill! Here is meat! Break the necks of the bulls! Shh! He is asleep. We will not wake him, for his strength is very great. The kites have come down to see it. The black ants have come up to know it. There is a great assembly in his honour. Alala! I have no cloth to wrap me. The kites will see that I am naked. I am ashamed to meet all these people. Lend me thy coat, Shere Khan. Lend me thy gay striped coat, that I may go to the Council Rock. By the bull that bought me, I have made a promise, a little promise. Only thy coat is lacking before I keep my word. With the knife that men use, with the knife of the hunter, the man, I will stoop down for my gift. Waters of the Waingunga bear witness that Shere Khan gives me his coat for the love that he bears me. Pull, Grey Brother, pull, Akela. Heavy is the hide of Shere Khan. The Man Pack are angry. They throw stones and talk child's talk. My mouth is bleeding. Let us run away. Through the night, through the hot night, run swiftly with me, my brothers. We will leave the lights of the village and go to the low moon. Waters of the Waingunga. The Man Pack have cast me out. I did them no harm when they were afraid of me. Why? They were afraid of me. Wolf Pack, ye have cast me out too. The jungle is shut to me, and the village gates are shut. Why? As Mung flies beneath the beasts and the birds, so fly I between the village and the jungle. Why? I dance on the hide of Shere Khan, but my heart is very heavy. My mouth is cut and wounded with the stones from the village, but my heart is very light, because I have come back to the jungle. Why? These two things fight together in me, as the snake fights in the spring. The water comes out of my eyes, yet I laugh while it falls. Why? I am two Mowglis, but the hide of Shere Khan is under my feet. All the jungle knows that I have killed Shere Khan. Look! Look well, O wolves! Aye! My heart is heavy with the things that I do not understand. Yeah, that was pretty sweet. Pretty nice. New chapter tomorrow at 10 PM. I'm going to have to read ahead to see what it says in advance, because you never know with old books. Anyway, thanks for listening. God bless you, and be well and be safe, and enjoy life to the full. I'll see you soon.